Hello, students. Sims Huff Productions, 180 Studios, state exam multiple choice review. Get the color up here. We'll stick with blue. Review number 10. And then just like review number 9, this is just going to be the hints. I'm not going to actually give you the answers. You're going to have to work for them a little bit. So, starting with number 1. What is the cost in dollars of the wallpaper per square foot? So we want dollars per square foot. All right. So we know how much money it's going to be. So it's $771.12. But what we don't know is what the bottom number is directly. Right. Say, whenever they say square foot, that means area. So the first thing you're going to have to do is find the area of this rectangle. So area of a rectangle is base times height. Base times height. So you would take 42 times 25.5, and whatever you get goes here. Right? So that's for number 1. Number 2, actual distance. This is a scale factor. Here's your first scale. 1 inch is 35 miles. The only key you got to figure out is where that 2.5 goes. Okay? Inches here, miles there. So figure out where 2.5 goes and you'll have your answer. Number 3, actual area. So there's 3 problems in a row involving kind of a scale factor. Actual area in a triangle. Area of a triangle, it's on the reference sheet, 1/2 base times height. But there is a key that each one of those is 2 meters. So when you count this, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But 7 is really 14 because each one of these is 2. All right, then your height, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is really 10. So your base is 14. So your 14 would go here. Your 10 would go there. Distance between point Q and P is 6.5 units. Which number could represent Q? Well, distance can be in either way. So you just count 6.5 to the right or 6.5 to the left. So if I go 6.5 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Or I can go 6.5 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. And whichever one is there is your answer. Initial balance is $275. After which transactions will the balance of the savings account be the same as the initial balance, meaning 0 change, which means you're looking for a 0 pair. If you make a withdrawal, remember a withdraw, just so you know, a withdraw is a decrease to the amount of money you have. It's taking money out. A deposit is increasing to the amount of money that you have. Continue to move on. Number 6. Which expression below, if the expression below has a positive value, meaning that this is a positive, which inequality represents all the possible values for x in the expression? So basically you're saying I have a negative number times some number has to be a positive. Well, the only way you get a positive when you multiply if you have a negative times a negative. So any negative number, okay? And how would you represent that? Okay, would it be numbers less than 0, greater than 0, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to? Number 7, just put these all in your calculator. Just make sure you include your negatives. Right? Write that down there. Calculator. All right, moving on. Number 8. Okay, so first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, this is where, remember, you have to, in these expressions, distribute, combine. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute this negative 1/2. So you have a negative times a negative, so it'll be a positive, and it'll be 3/4. I'll at least do the first part of this for you. So it'll be 3/4 x. Then it's a negative 1/2 times a positive 6, so it'll be negative 3x. And then a negative 1/2 times a positive 1. So that would be a negative 1/2 minus 3x. So you put you can do this. Line up all your like terms, your positive 3/4, your negative 3x, your negative 3x, and you're left with a negative 1/2. Number 9, Measure one side of a square. I like pictures. S plus 3. And then you square, all the sides are the same. S plus 3, S plus 3, S plus 3. Which pair of expressions represent the perimeter of the square? You have 4 S plus 3s. Okay? All 4. And for this one, because I know some of you will have trouble with this, it has to be D, because it has to be in parentheses, because this just says you have 4 S's, not 4 3s, but this says you have 4 S's and 4 3s. Remember, think distributive. There you go. Here's your gift on that one. Hey, which equation could be used to find X? Well, you can clearly see what your total is, so really the key to this is figuring out what goes with X. X is the number of shirts. Okay. Each shirt is 1225. That means 1225 goes with your X. So the answer to the, well, you'll know what the answer to that's going to be. Okay. Keep in mind, we have not done equations where we've had parentheses in them. At least not yet. We'll do that after we're done with the state test. Number 11. Which graph shows all the distances Yolanda had walked Sunday to reach her goal? So this is an inequality. Yolanda participated in walk more than 300, so it's got to be greater than 300. Okay. She raised 50 on Saturday. Okay. Each kilometer is $10, so this would be 10x plus 50. Okay. And once you solve this, you take your 50 off, whatever you get your 10x here, divide by 10. Whatever you end up with is going to be one of these dots, so then you should be able to figure out from there. Length of the border to the nearest tenth of a yard. Wire fence around a circular region. So the question is going to be, is this C or is this area? Is it circumference or is it area? Hopefully you determine that it's circumference. Pi times diameter. They give you the radius to be 5 yards. If the radius is 5, that means the diameter would have to be double that, 10. You plug 10 in, you put it in your calculator, you'll have your answer. Every 5 years in March, populations recorded. Poland's population in 2005. Okay. Started with 4,500 people, increased by 15%. So 15%, 4,500 X. Whatever you get here, it's an increase, gets added, which means you're going to get a new value, and then that new value will get carried over. Now, decreases 4%. Whatever you get here, whoops, figure out how to erase it. There we go. This number goes there, and then whatever you get here gets subtracted, and this is going to be your answer. All right, so 15%, add it to it, take your answer, bring it over here, 4%, subtract it from it. Increased, oops, move this down, switch colors, if you want to. Increased by 21.5%. Increase, and you can see this is 100 plus 21.5, which would be 121.5, which would be 1.215. Oops. When you convert it, so percent increases, adds, and what do you add to? There's nothing to add to, so you add to the original 100%. 21.5, 121.5, convert it to a decimal, okay? And then basically you got to figure out from there, and I'll just give you the answer to this one. So there's 2 gifts on this one. I know we had some trouble with those types of problems before. And same thing with this one. 25% discount, not equivalent. Which one is not equal to that? So there's nothing to subtract it from. So it's just another one where you take the 100 minus 25. This would be 75%, which would be 0.75. Which one is not? So it's not C. And if you did this, if you took 1.5 minus 0.25p, you would get 0.75p. And if you did, in parentheses here, 1 minus 0.25 would be 0.75p. So hopefully from there you can figure out what the answer is. This might be the last problem, I'm not sure. Researcher surveyed 5 randoms based on the data, which company is most likely the longest average commute. Add them up, divide by 5. Add them up, divide by 5. Add them up, divide by 5. Add them up. Remember, the average, which is the same as the mean, is equal to the sum over the number. And that is it. All right, so for recorded answer keys, or answer hints keys, I guess, this is Mr. Sims signing off.